Well, hello, hello, hello. It is the Passover 2025. So on the Hebrew calendar, the days start and end when the sun goes down. So the sun just went down, and tomorrow is the Passover. So when you watch Jesus movies, you notice that they eat the Passover supper when the sun goes down. That's why. And then he goes into custody when it's nighttime, and then by midday the next day he's crucified. But really that's all the same day, and then that day ends when the sun goes down, because days start and end when the sun goes down. So that's why we take the Passover supper at the end of the day. So the sun just went down, and now we're going to do the Passover supper. So we've got the guardian angel candle and the Yahushua candle and the St. Michael candle. And we got an incense, some myrrh incense for his mother. And we got the healing amulet, and then a chocolate bunny there, and the Keber Nagast, and the Bible will be keeping us company today. Okay, so now we will do the Passover ceremony. So this is being recorded for myself, so that each year I can just make sure I have the unleavened bread and the wine and I use grape juice instead of wine, because I don't believe in the letter of the law. I believe in the spirit of the law. So it's okay for me to just use, I don't need to do it exactly when the sun goes down, and I don't need to use kosher wine and things like that. It's just a mythology, and it's just a symbol and stuff, Okay, so let's begin this ceremony. Okay, thanks and thanksgiving to Jah, the life of for the life of the ram and the lamb, the example of non-judgment, patience, and improvement, our symbol of healing, the healing power of the equal-armed cross, which is the Sacred Heart, YHWH, fire, water, air, and earth, the tetragram. As he followed through in the plan of his mother, it would include his death. Each year, the Jews killed the pure lamb, and by being killed on Passover Day, Yahushua, or as Babylon calls him, Jesus, Yahushua, would become himself the lamb. So that's why it's a white candle. And because his birthday is also this time of the year, on the cusp of Aries and Pisces, we also call him the Ram. Soon is the spring equinox and the pink moon, the season of bunnies, eggs, and flowers. Yahushua intentionally participated in the Passover ceremony, then was taken into custody after that Passover supper. He did this because it is all an annual teaching to be reviewed each year. So that's why it says you got to partake worthily, because you got to think about it and then do it, make it real. Okay, number one, you start out with the feet washing. Okay, John chapter 13, verse 1. Now, before the feast of the Passover, when Jesus knew that his hour was come, that he should depart out of this world unto the Father, having loved his own which were in the world, he loved them unto the end. After that so then skip into verse 4 through 17. After that he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet, and to wipe them with the towel wherein he was girded. Then cometh he to Simon Peter, and Peter said unto him, Lord, dost thou wash my feet? Jesus answered and said unto him, what I do thou knowest not now, but thou shalt know hereafter. Peter saith unto him, Thou shalt never wash my feet. Jesus answered him, If I wash thee not, thou hast no part with me. Simon Peter saith unto him, Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head. Jesus said unto him, He that is washed needeth not save to wash his feet, but is clean every whit. And ye are clean, but not all. For he knew who should betray him. Therefore said he, Ye are not all clean. So after he had washed their feet, and had taken his garments, and was set down again, he said unto them, Know ye what I have done to you? Ye call me Master and Lord, and ye say well, for so I am. If I then, your Lord and Master, have washed your feet, ye also ought wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example, that ye should do as I have done to you. Verily, verily, I say unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord, neither he that is sent greater than he that sent him. If ye know these things, happy are ye if ye do them. Okay, so now you can push pause and wash each other's feet, and you give each other a pedicure. Who knows how far you might take it, but this is a symbol of service. So if you're just alone, then just you don't need to do that. You don't need to wash your own feet or anything. Okay, now Luke 22, verse 7 and 8. Preparation of the Passover. Then came the day of unleavened bread, when the Passover must be killed. And he sent Peter and John, saying, Go and prepare us the Passover, that we may eat. And then skipping ahead from verses 14 through 18. And when the hour was come, he sat down, and the 12 apostles with him. And he said unto them, With desire I have desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. For I say unto you, I will not any more eat thereof until it be fulfilled in the kingdom of God. And he took the cup and gave thanks and said, Take this, and divide it amongst yourselves. For verily I say unto you, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of God shall come. Okay, so there's the wine. Did you notice that everything's pink for the pink moon? Okay, so then, these are my pajamas. Oh, I spilled some blood on it, I guess. So we're supposed to drink the wine and think of as this blood that was shed for us on the cross, that he had to be killed to fulfill that prophecy. So we see that a lot nowadays with how there's a lot of updates that need to happen in the Bible and stuff, Jesus came, not so much, he died on the cross so that we might live. And that's all just a bunch of power trip stuff. It's really just for healing. He's a deity of healing, And so he died to fulfill all these prophecies, so we wouldn't need to kill these lambs and to be a living symbol of how God is within you as an individual, So to remember that he had to shed his blood. If I threw this wine on the floor, it would disappear. Just like how if you got a big enough cut, you would bleed to death and die. You know what I mean? And so he only has so much blood, and he gave it up so that then he would have to die, you know? And it really tastes like blood when you do that, doesn't it? And then continuing on to the next verse, verse 19, Luke 22. And he took bread and gave thanks and brake it and gave it unto them, saying, This is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me. Okay. So there you can see I've got some Triscuits. Triscuits don't have any leavening. It's just grain. It's just the same ingredients as just... But sometimes I make my own unleavened bread sometimes, but I didn't have time this year. I just get some wheat flour, some salt, some water, and honey, and stir it up and throw it in a frying pan and cook it like a pancake. It's that simple. These kind of look like 3 square shape or triangle shape for the Trinity, you could say. Pieces of flesh. So his flesh was torn. According to the mythology in Isaiah, he ripped his flesh beyond semblance. You couldn't even tell that he was a human. So according to the story, it was even more violent than in the movies. It's also weird that like bread and wine is like, it's kind of like the foundation of a basic diet, kind of. Grain is like for wholesomeness. But you gotta think about the violence, you know. He just puts an end to the violence by turning himself into the symbol of the lamb, so you don't have to use a lamb. Okay, and then continuing on to the next verse, Luke 22, verse 20. So they just did the bread. Likewise also the cup after supper, saying, so then after they did the feet washing, the wine, and the unleavened bread, then likewise after the Passover supper, they passed around their other cup, we would call it their pipe, their cannabis pipe, their chillum, their chalice, whatever you might want to call it. They passed around their pipe. Likewise also the cup after supper, saying, This cup is the New Testament in my blood, which is shed for you. You know, because he said earlier he wasn't going to drink anymore. You know, now it's the new wine, and that's cannabis. So now they all smoked and get all stoned and go to the Garden of Gethsemane where they can meditate and think. And that's where the movie The Passion, Mel Gibson's The Passion. So every year after we take the supper, we go and we get stoned if we have herb and smoke some herb and watch The Passion, because that's right where it starts from there. And The Passion ends right when, you know, you get the idea. So it's perfect. It works in as part of the ceremony. So now we'll smoke some herb and watch The Passion, Mel Gibson's The Passion, and eat our chocolate bunny. Another year, the Passover. So you remember that it's also like their New Year. So they're thinking along the lines of New Year resolutions and everything and all that. And then the next 7 days, so tomorrow is the Passover. So I usually watch the movie Jesus of Nazareth, or select scenes or something like that. Or if you're more of a reader, you could just read the mythology of Yahushua. You know, it's mostly fiction, but it's based on truth, you know. And just it's a time to just rethink about this deity that we're using as the symbol of the God, as witches.